Where'd you come from? What was life like?
That's fine.
How did you get here? Something about
lots
that?
of interviews, whatever you want to talk about.
Super. So I'm here this morning in Dauin still at a place called the Liquid Dive Resort. And it is a beautiful place. We'll try to get some of this on camera if there's room on this card or stick later.
I've been coming here for years. It's like great food and nice facility and the best dive training, the best instructors, you know, I think in the Philippines.
This is Mark Thornton, and he's got a YouTube channel called Every Man Has a Story.
Right.
And we're going to find out some more about him, because what we like to do is talk a little bit about travel anywhere we find good small business owners. Especially we want to inspire somebody with somebody else's story, something that might click with you, whoever you are now or somewhere in the future, and open up doors for each other, make the world a better place type of thing. So let's start with our first question. Mark, where'd you come from and what was life like?
I was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, moved to Cincinnati when I was like, I don't know, 3 years old. Went to school there, dropped out of college to work for a record company, toured with rock bands for several years. That was too wild of a lifestyle, so I drifted into theater as production stage manager, set designer, lighting designer. And so I worked in theaters all around the United States as artistic director, production stage manager, union stage manager, art director.
Okay.
And then that led to cruise ships.
Cruise ships?
We got on cruise ships, and I worked off and on a cruise ships for over 30 years, all the major cruise lines.
Doing shows or?
Yeah, always in entertainment. I started off as a production stage manager, or actually assistant stage manager, production stage manager, art director, cruise director. So I did that off and on for a long time, so I had heart trouble and had to leave.
You had heart trouble?
Yeah, quadruple bypass surgery.
I got you beat by one. Last August.
Yeah.
But you're the same as my brother. He had 4 too.
Yeah.
How are you doing now with your heart?
Doing fine, you know, except for COVID. When I got, you know, I was real pro-vaccine because I used to tutor English when I was here in the Philippines and talk to people around the world, including doctors in China, Saudi Arabia, all over the world. And then during COVID, especially the early days, everybody was getting vaccinated. They're vaccinating their family, vaccinating their children. And so I was promoting that. Okay. So I got the Sinovac, which did nothing. I still got COVID after getting vaccinated. Right. Then I got the booster, which was Moderna. And shortly after having that, I was in the ocean. I live on the beach too. Ah. And I was out there every day swimming. I'm out there with some friends of mine just floating. And all of a sudden my lungs fill up with fluid and was having basically a heart event. And it was because of that vaccine. And went to a cardiologist, emergency room, all these different...
Here in the Philippines?
Here, and had all these different medications I was on for a while, and then slowly weaned myself off everything. And so now I'm pretty much back to normal, but the damage was done. Yeah.
Permanent? Some of it irreversible? Or?
My I'm getting over a cold too. My cardiologist said, yeah, permanent. Yeah. And I was doing great, because after my surgery, when I moved to the Philippines, it's the first group of people I met when I was living up in Valencia had a walking group. And so they invited me to go along, and so we were doing it's like a 6K walk through the jungle, through the mountains and everything, you know, up hills and everything. And the first time I tried it, I could barely keep up, you know, I was all winded and everything, my cardio was really bad. But then after, you know, a couple of weeks, I was fine, and then, you know, within a year or so, I was doing it several times a week, not even getting tired. I could get on the top of Mount Tunis and everything. So I was totally, you know, recovered as far as I was concerned. And then it's a vaccine thing.
Did you debate whether or not you wanted to in the beginning take it?
No, I was all for it. Yeah, because I was talking to a lot of doctors around the world, and they were all getting vaccinated.
Right.
All of them.
Right.
And so the people will tell you, oh, the doctors are in on it. They were, you know, misdiagnosing people and making money. That's all bullshit. Because I had one doctor tell me, he said, Mark, he said, you know how long it took for me to become a doctor? All the years I went through, all the pain I went through, and you think that for a certain amount of money I would lie, you know, to make some money about COVID or something? And he said, I wouldn't do that. And I believe him, you know. They were misled, you know, like the rest of us. So
today, how do you feel about it?
I just will not get any more vaccines for COVID. I'll still get a flu shot. Okay. I recommend getting shingles if you ever had chicken pox as a child. I would definitely get that, because I mean, a lot of guys our age who come down with shingles, and it's very, very bad. The effects last, long after it goes away. And the other one's pneumonia. You get a vaccine for pneumonia. Because if you get the flu or you get COVID, a lot of people don't die of that; they die of pneumonia, and you can get a vaccine for that. And the flu shot, when I worked, I got a shot all the time. Hey, dear, can I get a Coke and a glass of ice, please? Thank you.
Another Coke. 2 Cokes and 2 waters. Dan, what do you want? Water or something else?
Water's okay for now.
3 waters and 2 Cokes. Oh, did you want? Sorry, you didn't want water. You want ice.
Yeah, I want a Coke with ice. Yeah.
Also, your Coke with ice, also for you.
Yes, please.
But yeah. So anyway, that's that.
So, you were on cruise ships, putting on shows all over the world, different cruise lines, having a great time, living the life of Riley.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility, but I work for like every major cruise line there was. I mean, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Sunline, Sea Goddess, Windstar, Cunard.
Came through Vancouver and did Alaska, or?
Yeah, I went everywhere, all over the world.
Nice.
1,000 miles up the Amazon.
So cool. How did you get from that to here?
Basically, when I had my heart problem, because I was actually life flighted off a ship with a heart attack.
Okay. Can you tell me what your symptoms were of the heart attack?
Yeah, I was the ship I was on the Carnival Conquest sailing out of New Orleans, and my cabin was the lowest passenger guest cabin, and one deck below me was the crew area and also the crew hospital.
Okay.
And the passenger hospital too. And I was friends with the nurse and the doctor, and I just started having sweating, having chest pains, just feeling really weird. And so I just called down next to my friends and said, I don't know what's going on. I told her what the symptoms was. She just happened to be a cardiac nurse.
Wow.
And she said, well, come on down to the hospital right now. So I come down there. They gave me an EKG and some other tests. And they said, and the doctor came, as a good friend of mine. He goes, you're having a heart attack. He said, but it doesn't make any sense, because that's when I was going to the gym like 3 times a week.
Healthy.
I was ripped. I was in great shape.
Right.
I don't smoke. I was, nothing. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong. And to this day, they don't really know. But anyway, they put me on a boat in the middle of the Mississippi River and took me to a hospital in New Orleans. And same thing, the doctor came in to see me there and said, what drugs are you on? I said, I'm not on any drugs. He said, you got to be on some kind of drug. You took a drug, you're on drugs because, somebody in your physical, your condition should not have any heart trouble. So I'm not on any drugs. So I work on a cruise ship. We get random drug testing. If you test positive for anything, you're fired.
Gone.
You're gone.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not on any drugs. And anyway, they put me in intensive care in New Orleans. They wanted to give me a, what do you call it, angiogram.
Okay.
So they put
it. There. They did mine here.
Yeah, they did it in your groin back then and shot the dye in. And
what did it show?
They did that. Showed all my arteries were fine, but I had a scar on my heart, so I'd had a heart attack, but they don't know what it was for. About a week before this happened, I'd gone scuba diving, and I touched something and I got stung by something, nothing too serious. And all I'm thinking is possibly I got some kind of toxin that got into my heart or something, but I never did find out what really happened. And it was a shitty hospital too in New Orleans, and my father actually flew in to see me. He was in Kentucky, or from Florida. And so I was there, for 10 days. And in order to go to the bathroom, like they have me hooked up to all this equipment and shit.
Right.
I would just take everything off, like unplug all the things, go to the bathroom, and all the alarms and shit are going off. And nobody comes in to check on me.
Could have been dying.
This is not a test.
So I go take a piss, come back, hook myself back up. And then eventually they discharged me and I went home. And then, because I was one of the top, at that time I was art director on that ship, which was selling art, doing art auctions and stuff. And I was their top guy. And Carnival loved me, and the company I was working for, Park West, loved me. And I was able to push my way back on the same ship. So like 3 weeks later I was back on the ship. It was kind of embarrassing though, because when they took me off the ship, they put me on a gurney, then they had like 6 officers, all guys I know, you know, carrying me all the way down the I-95. That's the crew corridor on the ship, and all my friends are seeing Mark, you know, in the stretcher, open the side of the ship, put me on a boat,
And you're not a short guy, so getting around some of those corners.
it's like they wanted to take my shoes off, or no, they put my shoes on, and the hotel director was like my boss, like second down from the captain, is tying my shoes for me. But anyway.
Didn't have a procedure then. It was later when you had your bypass?
Yeah, years later, that's when I found out I had high blood pressure, but I wasn't really doing much about it. And then I don't remember how many years later, Kentucky, I had a home in Kentucky, and I was between cruise ships. And one day I woke up and I couldn't hear. I was deaf, totally deaf. And so I get in my car and I go to the prompt care center, and the first thing you do is check your blood pressure.
Right.
And it was like 220 over 250, some crazy numbers.
Wow.
And they said, you should be dead. And they started giving me all these drugs to get my blood pressure down. And eventually they got my blood pressure down, and over a couple of days' time, my hearing came back. And that's when I knew I had a problem. And so then I was on blood pressure medicine for a while, and then one day, I forget how long it was, maybe a year or two later, I was out mowing my lawn for the first time. I had a big property. There's a push mower, you know, and I'm out there mowing my lawn for the first time of the year. Starts sweating and my arm starts hurting. And my family doctor was only like about 2 miles away, little country doctor. So I go to see him, tell him what's going on. He said the same thing, looking at me, he said, I can't believe you would have a heart attack. And I said, well, you know, what happened to me before in New Orleans. And so he sent me to a brand new hospital there in Louisville, also very close to my house, a Whole Heart Institute. So I walked in there, nobody in there, like brand new hospital. They take me right in, EKG, not angiogram, EKG. And they scheduled another angiogram for the next day. And they said, well, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. And I said, well, my father had quadruple bypass surgery when he was about my age, and he was an athlete. Rode his bike all the way across America and then had quadruple bypass surgery. And so, okay, we'll do the angiogram tomorrow morning at another hospital. So I go there. They put you under like you're like out, but you're not out. You're still kind of conscious. Yeah. And so when I come to, I had 3 doctors standing around me and said, Mr. Thornton said, we got to put you in an ambulance right now, take you to this other hospital. You have to have, you know, quadruple bypass surgery now or you're going to die. No stents, no nothing, no treatments. It's surgery or death. You choose. And I was lucky because at that time I was going through some really hard times in my life, you know, financially, and been through a divorce, a bunch of other shit. And that's when Obamacare came out. Okay. And so I went and applied online. You know, I'd done it like maybe a week before. And because I wasn't working at the time, I was in between shifts, so I was technically unemployed. I qualified for Medicaid. Okay. And they said, you're qualified, and sent me a card and everything. And that covered my surgery. So I got lucky.
And 4 bypass was the extent of the heart work that was done in that operation. And today, you're doing great from the heart perspective. I am, Are you on medication?
Yeah, I have 2 medications that I take. I can't remember what they are that I take at night. And then I have blood pressure medicine, but I check my pressure every day, and if it's fine, I don't take nothing.
Do you have to do INR here?
What's that?
Are you taking warfarin or anything blood thinner?
No.
Okay. I think you just do it right when you're taking warfarin or a blood thinner. To test the viscosity of the thickness of your blood has to be in a range.
There's 2 medications I'm taking now that was recommended. My cardiologist had me on like 7 things. It was just too much. Right. And so I looked up all these side effects and everything.
Sounds like my brother.
I started just cutting them out, you know. Yeah. And got down to 2. Yeah. And one of them helps your heart work more efficiently and whatever, but they work well for me. And like I checked my blood pressure this morning, it's perfect.
Every day you check?
Oh yeah, several times a day usually. So.
Good care here in this part of the world, Dauin, Dumaghete, or you have to go to Cebu? Or?
Well, it depends on what your problem is. You know, like you have a motorcycle accident, yeah, they're experts at that. Right. Because they're fixing broken legs all the time. Right. Heart surgery, I mean, when I went and had I ended up in the emergency room with that COVID reaction, and it was like the EKG at Silliman, which is one of the big hospitals here, but it's a teaching hospital.
Wow, I know it's a big, famous school. I didn't realize they had a hospital.
Yeah, it's a hospital. It's a teaching hospital.
Wow.
And so anyway, I go there, and it was like antiquated equipment, you know, the EKG machine, you could tell it was like from the 70s or something. And the guy running it was a brand new doctor, not a cardiologist. He didn't really know what he was doing, and they didn't really tell me anything. They said, well, you've had a heart event, whatever the hell that means. And that was it, you know, and then I just left. There was nothing they could do. So then I made an appointment with a cardiologist, and she ordered all these tests. And the good thing, the tests are real cheap here. Like I had sonogram and all these other tests, not an angiogram, but all these other tests. And she said, well, you've got congenital heart disease. So I never had that before. When I came here, I didn't have that. I had open heart surgery. If I had that, they would have known.
Right.
But it was just my arteries. So I was kind of shocked to hear that.
It would make sense since your father had, because we have hereditary, both sides of the family, no matter how healthy we are, it's coming for us. We've discovered at this end of stuff. So the INR, back to that, is a blood test. So I imagine since you're getting blood work here, it's simple to go in a little clinic or somewhere.
We just go to Silliman. They have everything.
Into the hospital, and then you get
she
blood
ordered
tests
like,
done.
I don't know, 5 or 6 tests, and all the tests together was less than $200.
Wow.
You know, cardiologist costs $16 a visit. Regular doctors $10 a visit. And before I left here, I tried to have an appointment with my cardiologist. Did my surgery, because I hadn't seen him in several years, and they said it's going to be 6 months to get an appointment just to have him check you out. And so here, you know, I went down to Silliman and said I want to see. They had like 2 cardiologists and said, yeah, you can go in tomorrow at 3 o'clock and no problem.
We've got in our town outside of Vancouver, we've got it's called Fraser Cardiologists, and it's got a bunch of on the team. The top guy is a guy named Saya, and he's booking for sometime next year.
Wow.
2025. But
I get to see him once a year.
yeah. All of that then brought you to Philippines at some point. How did that happen?
Well, I've got videos on my channel all about this whole thing, but I'll give you the abridged version.
Sure.
Basically, you know, hit a midlife crisis where your life just starts falling apart, you know, and it took like 10 years to slowly spiral down from when, you know, at one point I'm making $20,000 a month, you know, living in a $500,000 house, buying $50,000 cars, and everything's great. And it just kept going down and down and down for a whole bunch of other things that happened to me, you know, the surgery, bankruptcy, divorce, all these different things. And I couldn't get back on ships because of my heart, you know. And I still managed to get a couple of contracts doing other things I didn't really like doing. And I started selling cars. Like I used to do that between cruise ships anyway, and also when I was a stage manager. You couldn't always get a show,
Right.
So I'd sell cars. Anybody can get a job selling cars. If you can breathe and walk, they'll hire you to sell cars. And I was good at it too. So I got a job at Jaguar, Land Rover, Maserati, Porsche, the biggest dealership in Louisville. Had a nice office, guaranteed $1,000 a week, and they loved me there. Treated me really well. And I just walk into an office and sit down, and you turn on your computer, and it tells you, oh, you call this guy, do this. This car needs maintenance. You know, whatever. It's telling you what your day is going to be like in a computer.
Right.
And I just hated it. So I was always looking for things to do, and so. I think I got another job on a ship doing something I didn't really enjoy doing for Holland America, and financially things were terrible. I was old enough to apply for Social Security, so I finally got my Social Security, and I lost my house to bankruptcy.
Okay.
All my stuff was in storage, sleeping on my mother's couch on her sun porch, you know, not knowing what the hell I'm going to do. And I just didn't want to go back to selling cars. I could have done that, but I just didn't want to do that. And I kept telling myself, you know, you got to change your life. You have to change your life, you know. And I just left it open to the universe to change your life, not specific about anything. And it just kind of came to me one day, maybe you should just leave the country. You can't afford to live here. Because I had Social Security, $1,000 a month, minus my credit card bills, left me $300 a month to live on. You know, otherwise get some job doing, some shitty job in your 60s. And came across, I was going to go to Thailand because I've been there before.
Okay.
Came across some videos about Philippines. I'd never been here, all over the world. Never been to Philippines. Knew a lot of Filipinos because they were on the ship.
Yeah.
Anyway, so decided to go to the Philippines, and I watched Rike, Life Beyond the Sea. He had a good channel talking about the Philippines, and found a one-way ticket for $600 from Louisville to Dumaghete, and started making plans, getting rid of stuff, selling stuff online, and slowly, got rid of everything. And once I booked that ticket, it was a non-refundable ticket. And once I did that, I realized that, this is real. I'm really going to do this. My mother thought I was crazy. My whole family thought, he'll be gone and we can come back.
Was that at the time when Dumaghete was ranked as the #1 in Forbes?
It might have been. This is like 2017, 6 years ago. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
so is that why you chose Dumaghete, or why did you?
No, I chose it because #1, easy to get in here back then. You got a 30-day visa at the airport. When you arrived.
Right.
And you could keep renewing that for 3 years' time. You could stay here for 3 years basically on a tourist visa.
Wow.
And they speak English. That was my main reason, and the cost of living.
Okay.
So I came here, got the flight, landed in Cebu, then took a plane from Cebu here. Didn't know a single person, nobody, never been here. And I stayed in this really crappy Airbnb up in Valencia where it was a bad mattress on the floor, screwed to the wall, no screens, the cheapest place I could find. I had it booked for 10 days and no transportation. I brought beef jerky to eat that I made myself. And I was tutoring English. I had set up the English thing and that was working. But what happened was at the airport, I had a brand new computer, which I bought with my Walmart credit card before I left. And I dropped the computer bag at the airport. When I got to my Airbnb, it was broken. My brand new computer wouldn't work, wouldn't even turn on. So I took it apart, my Swiss Army knife, put it back together, not knowing what I was going to do, and somehow I fixed it. And so I was able to tutor English, and it was fun and easy, and I was making $10 an hour doing that. And so with that money, I was able to move out of there. So I went to Dulce Vita, which is a really nice little apartment complex up there in Valencia. But they wanted first month, last month, and a month's deposit. So 3 months rent to move in. I had barely 2 months. And so I told the owner my situation. He said, "Don't worry about it. You can just make payments on the rest." So I moved in there. I was there for 2 years and really liked it. It was really nice. And, had internet, fully furnished, everything you need, towels, sheets, everything. And started doing my channel, my YouTube channel.
You started, so how many years ago?
Like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Because?
Well, this guy I knew, Paul, he had a YouTube channel.
Paul McGill?
Yeah, he had a...
I interviewed him yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had
Nice
a YouTube
guy.
channel, and he showed it to me. And because I've got a background like in TV and radio and, things like, to me, I said, well, I could do this easy.
Right.
And so I set the whole thing up, and he helped me a little bit, and just took off.
Were you planning to tell people stories, or what was the beginning like for you?
I just had the idea. I said, well, you see all these celebrities and entertainers and athletes on chat shows, and they all sit there and tell the same story on every show. I said, you could pick any guy our age out of the audience,
right?
Sit them down and interview them. They might have a better, more interesting life than that movie star,
right?
And that was my idea, that every man has a story. So I just started interviewing just regular guys. I didn't care who you are, where you're from, what your background is, what's your story.
Very cool.
And it took off because I had my own little niche.
I see. Is that a wedding ring? Are you married to a local?
Yeah, I'm married. Been married for 3 years. Have an 8-month-old baby.
Ah, congratulations, man. Proud papa.
And life is good.
Life is good now, hey?
Yeah, great.
It's amazing when you look back, 10 years, and think of what life was like today.
Yeah, I was on the edge there, when
I think that can be kind of like a educational, inspirational point for the one person that's going to watch any of Mark's videos that tell stories, and somewhere you're going to find a connecting point, maybe in this short interview, that's going to help you make a choice about continuing to live and then trying something new.
Yeah.
Mark went outside his comfort zone with very little means, came to a strange place he'd never been to before, and now has what sounds like a great life.
Incredible life, yeah. When I came here, basically, I had a little less than $600, which I had my bank change into pesos for me before I came here, and a pocket full of maxed out credit cards, and that was it. Yeah. And my Social Security, like I said, once I paid my credit card bills, I had like $300 a month left over. And So I was tutoring English, making like $200 a week doing that.
The last question is, what's your dream for the future?
Nothing, just stay healthy and watch my son grow up, you know.
Is your son named after you?
No, he's named after Joe Rogan. His name's Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, his name's Rogan.
That's great.
Yeah, see, he was kind of like my inspiration. I don't agree on everything that Rogan says. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I admire what he's done with his life, and he's a good guy. And
Number one
number
podcaster,
one podcast.
95 countries.
Yeah.
Amazing influence.
Yeah.
And seems like a real down-to-earth guy.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's a real cool guy, you know. And so Rogan, he's got.
Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Really appreciate your time. Hi. How are you? Hi. Having a good day?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. Beautiful. So, just had a wonderful interview with Mark Thornton. Every man has a story. And he recommended, sorry, I'm chewing a piece of chicken, which was a mistake. I'm too lazy to turn off my camera and put it back on. He recommended coming here to the Liquid Dive Resort in Dauin. It was about a 10 or 15 minute trike ride from the Sierra, and it is a beautiful spot. Just wanted to show you a little bit of it. Two pools. They're sitting over there, my brother and Mark. I'll go back there in a second. Just wanted to show you what's here. Nice thing upstairs. You got your pool table. I love these. I'm doing darts. So feeling good, feeling strong. Been here now a few days in the Philippines, enjoying the beautiful sunshine. About 30 degrees every day. Some rain along the way, keeping things nice and green. Had two delightful interviews today. After this, we're backed up. We'll do some editing and enjoy some other parts of life. Maybe I'll ride a trike in a Dumaghete. Look at this. They got all kinds. There, look at the kitty cat. The cat is on the copy machine.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful spot. I've never been here.
Really?
Yeah.
It's your first time here?
First time I came to interview Mark.
Okay.
He's a vlogger who lives in the area. And he was 5 minutes from here, and he said, let's meet here at Liquid Dive. What can you tell me of this resort? What can you tell me? Has it been here a long time?
Yeah. I don't quite remember, but I think it's been 10 years.
10 years?
10 years. I think.
Is it family owned? Family owns it?
Family owned, yeah.
Do they live here as well?
Yeah.
The family lives on the resort?
Yeah.
Wow. And I hear they have a very good dive instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do all of it. At first, mainly the resort is mainly for diving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Is this a Philippine map?
yeah.
Nice. And what's your name?
Sean.
Sean? Nice to meet you. I'm Danny. My
Nice.
channel's Advisor Danny. Advisor Danny.
Okay.
We're staying at Sierra Resort.
Okay.
We came, my brother wanted to dive there. We didn't know other places. We had seen Justin from Critter Hunter dive on YouTube.
Okay.
And that's how we came, because everything social media is important introduction for us, right?
Yeah.
So we're enjoying seeing around now.
I think that's cool. That's cool.
How-
One of my colleagues.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you? You're going to be on YouTube.
Hi.
You both work.
She might know how long is the resort?
13 years.
13.
Years, so I was right.
Was it a resort before, or did they build it as a
They
resort?
just built it here.
And did they design it themselves?
Yep.
So beautiful. You know, when we rode a trike, we're staying now Sierra Resort,
Yeah.
but the man here who lives close by, I was interviewing him for my YouTube. He said to meet here. When we pulled up outside over here,
Yep.
I think it's just nothing, like a gathering place.
The
Like,
native one.
and
Use the native one.
come in here, and it's 5-star, like, right?
Yeah. Thank
And
you
it looks
for
like the operation is good with people like you.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to meet both of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a
sir.
have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
We will. we
Okay?
will. Yeah.
Lovely
What's your
people.
name, by the way?
Danny,
Danny.
my channel, advisor,
Advisor.
Danny.
Ooh,
Very
Advisor
simple.
then. That's
Advisor
your YouTube
Danny.
channel.
I have 3,000 videos and 3,000 subscribers. 1 subscriber, 1 video. More or less. Not exactly, but more or less.
But I'm getting there.
Here's your logo, hey? Liquid?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put
Very
that
nice
on.
of our logo.
Oh, you got cool merchandise here.
Mm-hmm.
And the cat is enjoying some food. I love it. Beautiful people. What do you got? Something special coming on? Oh, yoga.
Yeah, we do also have some yoga.
And a spa.
Oh, you have a spa here?
Yeah.
Are your massage prices crazy tourist prices? Oh, no prices.
We have.
That's dangerous. When no prices means high price. Okay, let me guess. For 1 hour oil massage, in a place like this is probably 700 pesos. High, more?
Yeah.
1,000? So you have a spa here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it
We
must
have
be
our own spa.
must be 5-star spa for those prices. Probably comes with free caviar, free champagne for 1,000.
Not included, sir.
It's included. I'll call you later and make an appointment. It's on camera. If I put it on camera, it's true.
It's not.
She agrees. Yes. Just say yes. I'll get it out of context. I'll cut out where it says no and then put yes. See you later, guys. Oh, good people. Why not have a little laugh? Oh, a nice dive shop. Here we are, enjoying the sunshine. And down here's the water, the other pool. All right, let's go back and see how my brother and Mark are doing. How about a little music? Let's put a little music on right now while we're walking through the grass. I just wanted to see what's down here at Liquid Dive. Hi, how are you? Good, sir. This is beautiful here.
next thing you know, I wake up in the middle of the intersection, land there. All I can think is that last thing I remember is like I came to a four-way intersection, and there was a big yellow truck just stopped there. And so I went around that truck. And I think when I went around that truck, somebody else ran through the intersection here and T-boned me, and then they just took off. And I was like, my whole side was like
Bruised
black
out.
and blue.
Yeah, no kidding.
I couldn't walk, you know. My
Great time. Liquid dive. Here's a friend. That is a beauty. Promo 120 this month. It's our driver Joseph. Get him in the mirror, my brother. Good man. Wanted to wait to film, make sure I had enough memory, enough battery, enough juice. That's a nice guy. So we just had a nice time with Mark Thornton. He's got a channel that's really doing well. 85,000 subscribers. By the way, why aren't you liking, sharing, and doing the same thing so we can be a great channel? We're growing one person at a time, but that's our mission, so no problem. By the way, also, he said my numbers are dated. There are 170 million YouTube channels. But the good news is we are in the 2 percentile of all YouTube channels because we have more than 1,000 subscribers. That's what we're talking about. Boom. All right, here we go. We're riding rough, riding shotgun. Let's sing some country music together, boys. By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. Or how about for all the girls I've loved before, each and every open door.
Jessup says it's going to cost more if you sing. the reg goes up. Alright, here we go. Oh, give me some of that Willie Nelson, brother.
Let freedom reign. Woo!
Look at that water. Look at the dark.
We're gonna get this.
Deep water, dark water.
Whoa. Let's see what we got over here. He has turned it into a business. And that's it. He was talking your language, bro.
Yeah, I like a lot what he had to say. It's very interesting for me to listen to these guys. He'll fly on the wall because he's very knowledgeable.
Yes, we are having fun. In the sun. Guy is plastering concrete in this heat. That's a strong man.